I got like crazy indigestion, so I'm not gonna try to burp into the microphone like Mike Penny. Like it's like I don't know what's going on. I've never had this before. It's like hurt my chest. Long live the king, I guess. Who in their right mind is okay with Trump posting about something he claims he did and then saying, long live the king? Dude, that is wild. Even as a joke. Like when tensions are this high, that's wild. See me move away from the microphone, it's because I got a burp. I know that's disgusting, but I'd rather do that than burp into the microphone like Mark Panene. It's like, I mean, it's like they don't have any like situational awareness, right? Like Elon Musk gets accused of doing a Nazi salute. So the first thing he does is make a bunch of Nazi jokes and say, ah, ha, ha, I'm trolling them. A lot of people are worried about government overreach now with Trump. And then he comes out and he's like, long live the king on one of his own posts.
Into a fire, but let him burn it out. Sell him to the richest buyer.
That's pretty insane. Some people think this camera's fake. It's not. Or like a recording. It's not. It's me. Trying to get my finger. Oh, there it is. Ah. I just don't get what he thinks he benefits from by doing that. I mean, attention, I guess. He is kind of an attention whore.
And the doubt we've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised.
And he doesn't have to worry about winning re-election. So, like, if he runs off every moderate that voted for him on economy-based issues, it doesn't really affect him now. Has he had any rallies since he's been in office like he did the first time? Like he just went on rallies continuously, even when he was already in the White House. I'll look it up. But even the rallies before, like, were a little much. That's your musical intro. Did I forget to start the clock? Or did it already go off? I can't remember. Anyways. Here we go.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh,
I guess he's had
so let's
one
not go
since
there.
he's been inaugurated.
Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially
It was in Vegas.
when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Guys, I'm not trying to be disgusting or like wig you out or anything, but I have been like, I've been burping like crazy and I have no idea why, what's happened. This is a brand new thing for me, so I'm gonna try not to burp in the microphone, but if you see me turn my head, that's why. It's like, it was so much like my chest was like fucking tight and like hurting. So I'm not trying to pull a Mark Penene, Mike Penny up here and just start burping into the microphone and being disgusting. So that's what's going on. It says he had one on the January 20. So he had one the night before his inauguration, which obviously isn't since he took office. And then he had one on January 25th in Las Vegas at the Circa Resort and Casino with Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars as a speaker. So there you go. A lot of crazy stuff has gone on. We talked about, that might have been on a Patreon show. If you're not a Patreon member, this may have been on the Patreon show, but we talked about him firing the people who are literally in charge of our nuclear stockpile, our nuclear arsenal, got fired. Then they couldn't hire them back because this is not just like a firing. It is like a scorched earth firing. Yes, the Pawn Star guys are huge fans of Trump. Speak at his rallies and everything. Anyways, this is like a scorched earth firing. The first thing they do is log you out of any database or email server. They destroy your email, right? So that email is just gone, right? They roll them back so you don't even have that email address. Then they notify your supervisor, and then your supervisor calls you. So when they got rid of the people that are literally in charge of the nuclear stockpile, and their only way to communicate with some of them, right? Their excuse was, we didn't know what those guys did. They literally said their excuse was, we had no idea what they did, so they just fired them all, or a bunch of them. Their only way to get a hold of them was through their work email. They didn't have personal emails for them. So they're like, oh, shit, we fucked up. We got to hire them back, and they don't even know how to get a hold of a bunch of them. So they contacted their supervisors and said, if you have personal contact information for these guys, please reach out to them. We need to hire them back immediately. They were able to catch some of the firings before they went through because the supervisor hadn't called the person yet or whatever and rescind those. But the ones they already fired, they can't get a hold of. Not only was that bad enough, and you're like, oh, please don't fucking do that again, right? They're in charge of our nuclear arsenal, keeping it maintained, keeping it safe, keeping it up to date, identifying new nuclear threats. Not only did they do that, they accidentally fired the people that were in charge of studying the new bird flu epidemic that's going on, the brand new outbreak of the bird flu. They accidentally fired those guys in almost exactly the same manner. And when they went to hire those people back, they had no way to get a hold of them. Like, the shit is fucking, it's wild. It's just wild. Trump's over here posting about something about congestion fucking pricing and long live the king is his brand new fucking Truth Social post that just come out. Even if he's joking, even if you're trolling, like, this is not the time. This is absolutely not the time where you've got all these federal employees on eggshells, right? People are fucking crying and breaking down, and I thought my job was safe. And he's posting, hold on, I'll find it. He makes a Truth Social post. about New York being saved from congestion pricing. President Trump on Wednesday declared New York saved after his administration announced it would rescind the Biden-era approval of congestion pricing plan. It says, this is a quote, a direct quote, "Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved." Then in all caps, "Long live the king." And these crazy people who support him will be like, you're upset about that? He was trolling you. He's not trolling me, because the people that were already worried, that's like, hey, we might have to step in and do something, have now been turned up to fucking 15 out of 10, right? Like, he's not trolling me. If anything, he's hurting himself. So there you go. I did see that the veteran crisis hotline, which is basically the veteran suicide hotline, is now understaffed. They let a bunch of people go from there. I've got a disability amendment basically in to fix my disability claim. I should have had it fixed 5 years ago, but I didn't. So now I'm trying to fix it. And then when Trump was elected and started talking about all these cuts, I was like, oh, fuck, I need to get on top of this. So I fucking threw that in there as quick as I could before he went into office. But of course, it takes months and months and months and months to get an answer. So I heard a bunch of writers were gone. A bunch of the higher level review people are gone. But then you have the head of the VA coming out with a press statement. Let me see if I can find the statement. I just had it opened earlier today, saying, oh, no, they're not going to touch benefits. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. And then literally, if you just scroll down the comments, people are like, you're lying. Like, I have a friend who is a fucking VA disability rater, fired, right? You're lying about this. Let me see if I can find this story. Here it is. Secretary Doug Collins. So Doug Collins is the head of the VA, the VA secretary. And it says, in a recent video message from his desk at VA Central Office, Secretary of Veterans Affairs Doug Collins addressed the media concerns that veterans' benefits might be targeted for cuts. I'm the Secretary of the VA, and I'm telling you right now, that's not happening. The reality is veterans' benefits aren't getting cut, Collins said. In fact, we are actually giving and improving services. He went on to emphasize that Veterans Benefits Administration is clearing cases faster than ever. By the way, they have like a 190-day backlog right now. That's the quickest you can get a claim through unless you're just fucking homeless, which it just occurred to me earlier today. I should have filed my, like, the campground's fucking condemned, right? We don't have a fucking place to go. I should have filed mine as emergency, but I didn't. And now if I do it, it'll go back 5 steps to receiving evidence, so it's not worth it. But it's clearing cases faster than ever, and the VA remains mission-focused by doing what it's supposed to do. Now, in his first full week on the job, Collins also addressed concerns about DOJ and rumors regarding access to veterans' personal information. He clarified that DOJ representatives at VA are reviewing contracts to ensure operations remain efficient and that resources are directed towards services for veterans. By the way, almost all of the VA claim process for like C&P exams, that stands for compensation and pension, where they actually decide, like, the doctor interviews you and decides how bad your symptoms are, even though you write personal statements and shit like that, or like how far you can move your arm or how much you can eat. Almost all of those are outside contractors now. They used to do some in-house, but I heard ever since COVID happened, they're all outside contractors. Mine was. I just did like 4 C&P exams last month or the month before, and they were all outside contractors. Somebody called Optum Health Services or some shit. So those are contractors when they're talking about these contracts. He clarified that DOJ representatives at VA are reviewing contracts to ensure operations remain efficient and resources are directed towards services for veterans. I'm happy to partner with them to find things we need to get rid of so we can put the money where it belongs, back with our veterans, he said. Collins reinforced VA's dedication to fulfill its mission under President Trump's leadership and concluded his message with an assurance of ongoing transparency regarding developments of the VA. And here's his video, if it'll play. Oh, let me get you some audio. Hold on. This fucking the players that are embedded never want to work right.
Hey everybody, it's Doug again. I can't believe it. I've been here about a week. And you know the one thing that hadn't changed about DC? It's the media up here that like to tell you stuff that they want you to believe. I'm going to give you a breakdown. This is how it happens in the media up here. They take a possibility and then they run with a story because they want you to believe it because they got to write something. And frankly, they don't know what to write because right now President Trump is making progress and this administration is doing what it said, making promises and keeping.
No, there's no I in it. It's not Optium. It's Optum. It's my Optum. What's the website? myoptumserve.com.
Keeping them. But let me tell you one that's right now. There's a one that's going around in the media right now about veterans benefits being cut. I'm the Secretary of VA. I'm going to tell you right now.
This guy is a likable guy, right? He doesn't come off as like a politician or like a piece of shit. Or like, you know, he doesn't come out like a sleazeball. He's a likable guy, but I'm pretty sure he's lying. If you just read the comments, it seems like he's lying.
It's not happening. They can do hypotheticals all they want. I'm telling you about reality. Reality is veterans benefits aren't getting cut. In fact, we're actually giving and improving services in our Veteran Benefits Administration. They're actually clearing cases quicker. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. There's also this rumor out there that Doge is out there, is this infamous thing that's going to take personal information and do that. I'm telling you what, we got Doge representatives here that are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that is looking at our contracts, making sure that we have.
They know. This is not a group of people they want to piss off, right? Right? They're fucking highly medicated, trained to fucking kill. Like this is. There's even threats in the comments that we're fixing to read.
The best run facility for efficiency to make sure the veteran gets the care they need. I'm happy to partner with them to find things that we need to get rid of so that we can put the money where it belongs. You know where that is, back with our veteran. President Trump's hit the ground running. We've hit the ground running. And like I'm saying, if you want to come for the real truth, come to see me.
So we go down to the comments. It's been 2.5 years since Camp Lejeune Pact Act was signed. I found out today my claim lawsuit will more than likely be the first next year. I cannot believe there are only 4 judges for 450,000 claims. Something needs to be done. All these veterans are waiting. Is the government just waiting for them to die off? The $10.8 million of the Pact Act funds, the higher up VA used for a raise. 136 people, I was told they did recoup 97% of the funds. Is there a new IG to contact because all the inspector generals are fired? Is there a way to contact your office directly with correspondence, or is this the only two-way communication? When will Camp Lejeune case be funded? Many families have cases filed for years without any answers. Please make this a priority. The Camp Lejeune funds are there, but it's only 4 judges hearing all the cases. This isn't what the budget plan from Congress says, Mr. Vaught, and the OMB are trying to cut funding. VFW, DAV, and PVA are advocating on our behalf, while our leader ensures we don't display any pride flags, a blatant display of disrespect to our LGBTQ family members and veterans. Every single service member, regardless of lifestyle or preference, deserves respect and leadership. Dear Mr. Secretary, it's my understanding from reading military.com that President Trump is following recommendations from Project 2025 by the Heritage Foundation. While I agree with rooting out fraud, waste, and abuse, and think Doge is doing an excellent job, I'm fearful of veterans' disability compensation being radically changed. I'm against any reform or cuts to disability compensation. I'm a total and complete 100% disabled veteran and retired. Veterans have sacrificed more than any other segment of the American population, and other than maybe law enforcement. As most retired vets are on a fixed income, any disruption to that income could lead to catastrophic results to include increased homelessness, depression, anxiety, and even suicide. Veterans have earned every single penny of their compensation and under most circumstances had to fight the bureaucracy tooth and nail to get it in the first place. I beg you, please do not vote yes on any bill that would include changing VA disability compensation in any way, shape, or form. There are plenty of other places to cut spending without continued sacrifice of our veterans. Thank you for your time. Good man, ? Dear Secretary Collins, I'm amazed that veterans are being let go from the VA. I see many of those veterans types working at the VA hospital in Decatur, Georgia. And I would hate to see them lose their jobs because of some fanatical cutting efforts by this administration. I hope you will take action to preserve the opportunities that veterans have to serve other veterans in our VA facilities. You're just giving lip service while you support an authoritarian. What about democracy? And all those vets, including my grandfather who fought and died for it against fascism in World War II. Now you embrace it After all the lies that Republicans have told to me in my lifetime, I would not believe anything more that you ever have to say. I became a United States Marine and I'm still a patriot, but you support billionaires over someone like me. Money is your God. So far, there has been zero benefit for my service, but then I chose honor and principle over money. A love of my nation. Unlike you, I don't count on you helping any of us. There's been no justice for the loss of my child at Camp Lejeune, no justice for anything. I hope that you believe in a just God. I do. Men like you are going to answer for all of it at judgment. You still believe your lies and have zero repentance. No change from your sins. Cuddle with a dictator for worldly wealth and status out of fear. Refuse to help the least of your brothers. Play God in your decisions. No better than those who murdered the Jews. No better than those who condemned Christ to death. No forgiveness from the Lord God. Unforgiven. I created a Desert Storm Battle Registry as a survey in 1997 to find my fellow GWI veterans. More than 5,000 filled this out. Then I progressed to full advocacy by 1998. By then, DOD knew me quite well as they inventoried their servers and threw it back at them. I was tired of I don't know what all this is. Next. Please focus on caring for Survivors Act. So many of us lost not only our loved ones, but also a substantial amount of our income. Currently, VA has over 250,000 pending rating cases, which is taking an average of 140 days to complete. Is that faster than ever? Historically, the VA has staffed up during wartime periods, but when those employees retire, service suffers. Veterans' needs for VA service do not go away after they are discharged. Many times, as veterans age, their needs for disability benefits and health care increases. It angers me that Elon Musk and his wunderkind, none of whom served one day in the military, are attacking the VA. Shame. This empire was built off the blood of those who served in units like mine, and you better fucking know that we are not oblivious to you trying to fuck with our disability ratings and services. Keep that in mind. You can lie to the masses with the current administration's lies, but we will not pull that shit with us vets. Remember that. How is freezing hiring from the War TAC program and taking medical services away while lowering disability ratings, giving and improving services? You can't BS us. We are what sustains this empire. Active reserve. You do well to remember that. Dear sir, there are 182 comments on here. Are you going to answer any of them? Like, people are fucking pissed, dude. Fucking pissed. Pissed. So, there you go. That's the update from the VA. There's a good Destiny clip out here. This is Asmongold talking.
That's a great question.
And Destiny responded.
That's a great question. So go look it up. It is a good question. So go look it up. Google it. Ask your audience. Figure out what's going on.
I think the federal government is run by a bunch of fucking retards.
Oh, okay.
I do. And I think that now that it's being...
Yeah, it says the Trump administration cuts to the federal workforce affect the World Trade Center health program, putting the health of 9/11 first responders at risk, critics say. 16 probationary staff members at the World Trade Center health program have been fired as part of layoffs at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. Several other full-time staff members have agreed to take the buyout, according to Citizens for the Extension.
Being exposed, they're all roaching out.
I don't know how you counter this. I don't know what you're supposed to do. And he'll never, Asman is always too much of a cowardly fuck to ever engage with any of it. I shouldn't even say he's cowardly. I keep giving the wrong emotions. He's intelligent. He knows what he's doing. It's all intentional. So you can say evil or purposeful or deliberate, but like this.
It's a 20% staff reduction in the World Trade Center health program, the people that supervise and administer it.
Is all being uncovered. Motherfucker, you remember those agencies that you guys didn't even know existed? The Office of Inspector Generals that you said didn't do anything at all? They literally report on all of this. None of this is being uncovered for the first time. Nothing has even been uncovered by Elon Musk. You don't even know what he's uncovering. But how do you fight the stream of lies, the insane stream of lies?
I think that's the point. You can't keep up with it. By the time someone researches and debunks one of the Doge lies, we cut this much from this program and that didn't happen over here. By the time you've caught up, researched, debunked that one, there's 40 fucking more, right? And that's in one tweet. That's in one fucking tweet. I don't know. It's getting pretty wild. I like this clip about RFK.
He comes from a good place of wanting to make America a healthier place. What's wrong with that?
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think he is the picture of health himself. I mean, he's a roided up 70-year-old who doesn't believe in germ theory and eats roadkill. I think that is perfect. He sounds like he's speaking into a fan half the time, and he doesn't believe.
Sounds like he's speaking into a fan.
In vaccines. He wants to replace healthcare in this country with Ozempic, and he also wants to limit access to antidepressants and psychiatric meds for all Americans and replace it with things like meditation. If we think we have a mental health care crisis in this country now, just you wait until RFK Jr. is finished with this country. If you think there is some sort of drug epidemic, people are going to be buying Adderall on the black market in insane amount. He also thinks that Jewish people and Chinese people can't get COVID. That was a fun one. You should tell that to my uncle. Oh, wait, he's dead. Also, 83 Samoans also dead from the anti-vax work that he did in American Samoa. Just as there's a measles outbreak in Texas right now because of the kind of lies about vaccines that he has spilled. But honestly, Piers, other than that, truly a picture of health.
Other than that, the picture of health, right? He just wants America to be healthy like him. Send us all to wellness camps. Send us all to wellness camps. So this is a trend, apparently, where they're printing off the Roman salutes and taking it to set it up as a new display piece in Tesla dealerships. It's weird. Everybody defends the Roman salute, but they don't want it in the dealership on the showroom floor.
I'm offended by that image.
The mask says it's a Roman salute, so why are you offended?
He's going to get in trouble for this. You haven't got his permission, so off. If I see that online, I will be suing you.
What do you think it is?
Every educated people know this. It's funny that you know.
It's interesting our sales, Tesla sales have been going down a little bit, but I don't know why.
Why? I wonder why they're getting rid of it.
I'm offended by that image.
The mask says it's a Roman salute, so why are you offended?
He's going to get in trouble for this. You haven't got his permission, so off. If I see that online, I will be suing you.
What do you think it is?
Every educated people know this. It's funny that you know.
It's interesting our sales, Tesla sales have been going down a little bit, but I don't know why.
They just want to get rid of it. That is wild. Do you think they'd keep it up? Right, that's their founder. Legally, that's their founder.
Clayton Knight just resubscribed.
Thank you for the
20
resubscription.
months.
Thank you. Here is an interesting update. I think this is an update. Yeah.
Hey guys, you remember when I posted this yesterday?
I don't give two shits that families are being separated, if somebody's getting deported. I actually find it hilarious. It gives me a great deal of comfort. I don't have any sympathy for your little videos that you're making on social media with all the tears. I don't give a shit. I'm actually fucking laughing at you, that you're sitting there crying for attention. Okay. I find you guys to be subhumans.
Well, we have quite the update. So her handle here on TikTok was Hot Take Melody, and she's apparently just a crap poster. She just likes to cause problems. But Melody is an alias.
She does it just for attention.
The internet works really, really fast, and her real name is April Martinson, and they found her job. Based off her LinkedIn profile, which has now been removed, and like every other profile of hers on social media
she disappeared quick.
She works at Bitadoo, which is a full-service global remarketing company on eBay. Or sorry, let me say she worked at Bitadoo. Bitadoo released a statement today on their social media saying, at Bitadoo, we hold ourselves to the highest standards of professionalism. We understand that the personal views expressed that surface through an online alias on an individual social media post were deeply offensive. We can assure you that these personal views do not reflect the thoughts or values we strive to uphold as a company. We have taken decisive action. The incident has been reported to the police and FBI to monitor and deal with any potential risks or threats. The person involved has been contacted and is no longer with Bitadoo. Our team thanks for your understanding and continued support. This is that FO and the FAFO that we've been talking about.
I guess it's
Let me
tough.
say this. Her as a person and her hatred and stuff does not reflect that company. The company took the right steps and terminated her, but they were receiving threats.
Yeah, nobody should be making threats or showing up at this company. That's a little extreme.
From people, and actually had to call police to one of their locations because people were like showing up to that location in order to try and find this one because she has stirred up so much chaos. But let me just say this, your First Amendment right protects your freedom of speech. Like, the government isn't gonna come arrest you because you're happy that people are being deported. Like, you have every right to have your opinion on immigration. But what you don't realize is that you also have a right to the consequences of sharing that opinion publicly. And I think April has now found out just how damaging your hate, your personal hate, can be to your daily life. Let this be a lesson to others who feel empowered and emboldened to come online and spread and share so much hatred and divisiveness. Accountability will be had. And now that video is on the internet forever. I hope it was worth it.
Probably not. By the way, the idiots that support Doge and Trump think they're getting $8,000. Think they're all getting $8,000 back on their tax refunds.
Donald Trump doesn't actually hate.
This is like, I don't even think Donald Trump has his own beliefs. I think the Broligarchy has told him, and Project 2025 has told him what to believe. I was looking back through these, some of these old clips, and then I just found a video that put them all together. So check this out.
Donald Trump doesn't actually hate trans people. He used the topic to win over conservatives. Trump has a long history of supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Let's start in 2012 when Trump owned Miss Universe.
To allow a transgender woman to compete for a spot in his Miss Universe pageant.
This is a young woman who, according to the laws of Canada and according to the laws of the United States, is allowed to enter the pageant system. What I did, I said, let her run. And maybe she'll win, and if she wins, she'll go to Miss Universe. And I think I made the right decision.
He celebrates the buzz around it. He calls it
that's wild,
modernizing the pageant. He cites the Olympics allow trans
Trump first. Got it.
In the future, can transgender women compete in Miss Universe?
Yes.
Fast forward to 2016 where Trump was asked about the infamous bathroom bill.
Even in 2016.
Was designed to block transgender people from using the bathroom that they identified with.
You leave it the way it is. There have been very few complaints the way it is.
And that's the truth. Like fucking this right-wing rhetoric trying to scare people into being raped by some amorphous fucking trans person. Like that, this isn't happening.
People go, they use the bathroom that they feel is appropriate. There has been so little trouble.
So if Caitlyn Jenner were to walk into Trump Tower and want to use the bathroom, you would be fine with her using any bathroom she chooses?
That is correct.
He even got criticized by other Republicans for calling out what we all knew. The bathroom bill was a solution to a problem that didn't exist, created by Republicans just to be transphobic. He was even proudly waving the rainbow.
Look at that picture. Big difference now, huh?
Flag. How does someone go from this?
As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology. Believe me.
To this.
So-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. I will sign a new executive order to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers.
He vowed to protect us from foreign ideology, but now he's the one pushing these ideologies. The nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers. Trump realized that he could manipulate conservative voters by flipping the script and attacking us. Suddenly, he wasn't just winning votes, he was inciting hate. And it's so funny to hear conservatives say, Trump feels like we do. He hates the LGBTs too. If anything, his track record shows a man who once believed in supporting our rights until it benefited him to manipulate you. And you are oh so easy to manipulate. This is how far people are willing to go for power, betraying their morals and weaponizing the lives of a small, vulnerable group of people just to climb the political ladder. So yeah, Trump and the Republican Party, they're a no for me.
Seems kind of weird that he flipped everything. Every stance. Yeah, I can drop this video if this is the one you're talking about. Discord. Like, I don't even think he has his own beliefs. I don't think he knows how to be president, right? There's just people telling him to do stuff, and he's just doing shit. And then he just likes that people basically worship him. There's nothing that stops a fucking predator from going in a bathroom right now and assaulting someone. It's still assault. It's still sexual assault. If you say, oh, well, you're not allowed in this man is not allowed in a woman's bathroom, you think that stops the sexual assault? There is the King story. President Donald Trump is branding himself a monarch. The President of the United States made an unprecedented declaration Wednesday while applauding his administration's decision to terminate federal approval of New York's congestion pricing program. Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king, in all caps. The official White House social media accounts on X, Instagram, and Facebook soon quoted his post, all sharing a fake magazine cover depicting an illustration of Trump smiling in a suit and wearing a bejeweled golden crown. In the corner of the magazine cover appears the text, "Long live the king." This is from the official White House Twitter account. The post comes as critics have accused him of exceeding his constitutional authority, and he already made the post, right? He who saves the country violates no law. Since starting his second presidential term about a month ago, Trump has issued more than 60 executive orders, including, you guys remember when Barack Obama started signing executive orders? And they're like, no. You don't get to make laws. You can't legislate from the Oval Office. That's what Congress does, okay? You need to stop doing it. You're not allowed to do that. And then Trump starts doing it. And they're like, another one. Give us another one. Can we get another one? Another one. Including multiple directives that have been challenged in court and blocked by judges. On Tuesday, Trump announced that he has directed the Department of Justice to fire all remaining Biden-era attorneys. This sounds really bad that all these attorneys are fired, and it kind of is because it sets a precedent. Typically, these attorneys resign when a new president takes over, and he suggests his all. And if the administration usually puts out a thing asking them to resign, it's just weird that he went above and beyond firing all U.S. attorneys rather than just putting out a thing saying, hey, could you resign? We want to, the tradition. Trump has also sought to consolidate even more power. Earlier this week, he signed an executive order essentially declaring legal authority over independent agencies such as the Federal Communications Commission and the Securities and Exchange Commission, stating that only he and the Attorney General could interpret law for the executive branch. This is a big deal. That only he and the Attorney General can interpret law for the FCC and the SEC and all these independent agencies that typically go to Congress, right, and figure out the laws and the rules and regulations. And on Saturday, the White House shared a post that included a statement from Trump appearing to declare himself above the law. He who saves his country does not violate any law, Trump wrote. Trump's proclamation, "Long live the king," became a trending topic on X, the platform formerly Twitter, now owned by his political ally Elon Musk. The White House circulation of the phrase and the accompanying imagery of Trump wearing a crown stirred a flurry of immediate backlash. New York Governor Kathy Hochul rejected Trump's and White House's post in a press conference Wednesday. I'm here to say New York hasn't labored under a king in over 250 years, and we sure as hell are not going to start now. The streets of this city where battles were fought, we stood up to a king, and we won then, and we will win, and we will. In case you don't know, New Yorkers, when we're in a fight, we don't back down, not now, not ever. Other government officials quickly joined the chorus of concerns. Illinois Governor Pritzker took on X to post that his oath is to the Constitution and our state and our nation. We don't have kings in America, and I won't bend the knee to one. Some of Trump's supporters online lauded his declaration, even making and sharing their own imagery of him wearing a king's crown. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Taylor Budowich, I don't know how they think this is some kind of own. Like, let's all the fucking meme team fucking losers out there are like, oh yeah, long live the king. Here he is in a crown. Yeah, we knew you worshipped him like that. You're not telling us anything new. Budowich similarly posted what appears to be an AI-generated image of Trump dressed in king's garb. Others who claim to have voted for him, however, expressed discomfort with this branding. Trump's monarch proclamation is the latest in a series of unusual posts coming from the White House's official social media accounts. On Tuesday, the White House posted a video of people in handcuffs and chains preparing to board a deportation flight, stating that it was an ASMR video. ASMR, which stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, refers to calming sensation triggered by certain unusually pleasant sounds. It's a popular genre of content typically made to help viewers relax. In another attempted joke about his administration's deportation efforts, the account on Valentine's Day posted a poem with the faces of Trump and his border czar, Tom Homan, complete with hearts dotted over a pink background. It reads, "Roses are red, violets are blue, come here illegally and we'll deport you." The White House has also repeatedly shared photos of Trump's mugshot, which is now hung in a frame outside the Oval Office. It's wild, dude. The world we fucking live in, bro. I don't even want to talk about Elon Musk's new fucking love child. Let's go to Adam Mockler for the Midas Touch Network. Elon fires everyone. As this is kind of scary. CNN submitted a FOIA request for records related to whether Musk and Doge employees have classified access, right? Have they been through any background check to get top secret or something? And they got an email back that says, good luck with that. They just fired the whole privacy team from OPM, which is Office of Personnel Management.
All right, this Elon Musk story coming out of CNN is wild, and it proves that he's not trying to streamline the government. He's trying to grab power and test the limits of the executive branch along with Donald Trump. This reads, CNN submitted a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act request, for records related to the security clearances of both Musk and other Doge personnel granted access to classified or secure networks, likely referring to the college-age teen dudes who are helping Elon Musk dig into our classified information. Quote, good luck with that. They just fired the whole privacy team. An OPM email address responded. And I want to dig into the CNN.
He was impeached twice already. That's the conviction is what gives him the punishment to remove him from office, public office.
Article, because it comes at a time when J.D. Vance is claiming that the Democrats and that other European officials are eroding free speech. He gave an absolutely offensive speech in Munich the other day where he claimed other countries are eroding free speech. But just over the past week, the White House has barred an AP News reporter from the Oval Office because they wouldn't use Gulf of America. They would only use Gulf of Mexico. On
the bastion of free speech they are.
Top of that, Elon Musk has been saying that 60 Minutes deserves a long prison sentence. I mean, just put all this together. Look at the pattern. Elon Musk is right now Donald Trump's top dog, or Doge, no pun intended, whatever the hell. And Elon Musk is saying that 60 Minutes deserves a long prison sentence after
60 Minutes deserves a long prison sentence.
60 Minutes settled in a lawsuit after Donald Trump has repeatedly sued different news organizations, creating a chilling effect, where now other news organizations will be more likely to bend the knee because they want access to the White House.
And what's crazy is they'll probably fucking settle, right? Why? Because they've got this big merger coming up. They want it to go through, and it's in front of the Trump administration. They all want to get fucking paid. Like the CEOs and shit want to get fucking paid.
They are using White House access as leverage to try to shutter any dissent, and it's terrifying. But let's read this CNN article because they can't shutter us. They can't shut us down even if they tried. We run an independent platform, and there's a million ways that we could outsmart them. So drop a like, subscribe to help boost the pro-democracy message, and let's read this CNN breaking news article. The Trump administration has quietly fired multiple members of the privacy team and other officials from the office that oversees the hiring of federal workers, a move that limits outside access to government records related to the security clearances granted to Elon Musk and his associates. So you can't even get the information about Elon Musk's security access because he fired the people that had that information. He fired the privacy team. And it matters for a few key reasons because number one, it blocks any investigation into Musk's security clearance.
So Mariah still has family members. Hell, most of my family members are gone now, but Mariah still has family members that like believe this shit, like still support Trump. So someone made a post that said, not surprisingly, the Trump and Republican budget has this is the reconciliation package, has nothing about no tax on tips, nothing on no tax on overtime, and nothing about no tax on Social Security, which is all true. Now, there are one-off bills that say no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, right? Those bills are not going anywhere. They haven't even been heard in committee. They're just put there to placate someone. They're not going to a vote. They're not being heard. They're not being touched. If they wanted those bills included in anything to do with their budget, they would put it in reconciliation because they don't even have to pass the laws. If reconciliation, a simple majority in the House and a simple majority in the Senate agree on reconciliation, it's just fucking law, right? The groups underneath them have to do it. So if they really wanted it, like the tax cuts for the billionaires, then it would be in the reconciliation package, okay? So one of the family members says, when did you see the budget? Or is this just another fake claim by a fake news? Where do I find this to read it myself? So the person's like, well, Google. Use Google. They're like, just reached Google and didn't see a bill. Just fake media like NBC and Democrat-funded Politico telling what is in the bill, but couldn't find the actual bill. As you posted, maybe you can put a direct site I can visit to read the actual bill, and all I can find is there has been no vote on a bill as of today. So I put the direct link in there. Like, all you do is click this, it'll download it, and then it'll say, do you want to open it? And you can read every bit of the reconciliation packages, both of them, right? They're both downloaded at one time. They don't match yet, but they will, obviously, before they reconcile. That's why it's called a reconciliation package. No response. No response. It's either the fake news media or it doesn't exist.
It came right after CNN filed the FOIA request. CNN was first notified of the firings at the Office of Personnel Management in response to a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act request for records related to the security clearances of Musk and anyone from the Department of Government Efficiency who has been granted access to sensitive or classified government networks. And I keep seeing this argument from Trump supporters. They're like, hey, we voted for Donald Trump knowing that he and Elon Musk were going to reform the government or streamline the government. This is not streamlining the government. This is a shadowy cabal of people like Elon Musk and his little tech bros going into our government with little to no oversight, no security clearances, and then unilaterally firing people and saying that it's the president doing it. It's incredibly odd. In addition to the privacy team.
By the way, speaking of Ukraine, I saw somebody put in the chat, Trump's now blaming Ukraine for Russia invading them. I'm guessing that Zelensky said something he didn't like. So you know how quickly Trump flips on somebody. Says the only thing that he was good at was like milking Biden for money or something. But he's blaming Ukraine now for Russia invading them.
Members of OPM's communication staff and employees who handle FOIA requests were also fired. Oh my lord. So they're doing this all under the guise of transparency and government oversight, yet they fire the privacy team that's in charge of creating oversight in the government or holding people accountable. And now, so they're pulling this weird legal trick. I made a video about this earlier where they say that Elon Musk isn't actually in charge of Doge. He's not the administrator because it's all under Donald Trump, which begs the question, who is the leader of Doge? How do we hold them accountable? If there's a team that we don't know about with Doge, how do we hold any of these people accountable? And how come there's no oversight into it? Some of the firings are not set to take effect until April 15th, one of the sources added.
Called him a dictator without elections. saying, he said in a press conference that his approval rating, Zelensky's approval rating, which is actually like 57, 58%, was 4%.
But some of them,
which comes straight from the Kremlin, by the way. He was told that by Putin. If you go to like the Kremlin news outlets, they claim it's 4%. If you look at any of the data coming out of Ukraine, it's above 50%.
Obviously have already taken effect. Asked about the firings, an OPM official told CNN that the agency did not lay off the entire privacy team, but declined to comment further. But remember,
so all they would actually say is that they didn't lay off the entire privacy team, but that was it.
An OPM email address responded to CNN's FOIA request, and someone said, good luck with that. They just fired the whole privacy team. So it's a massive mess. Everything is a little bit of a clusterfuck. But again, by gutting the privacy team, the administration, Trump and Elon Musk, have crippled the department responsible for handling requests that create oversight. So it also kind of mirrors Musk's takeover over at Twitter, or X. He fired the entire media relations team, and he replaced press inquiries with this automated poop emoji response. I don't know if you guys remember this, but when the press would try to hit up X or Elon Musk, they would get this poop emoji. So now the Trump admin's approach to the government is the same, I guess, purging anyone who's responsible for transparency and then making it harder for the public to access information. So all we have to trust are Elon Musk's manic, schizophrenic tweets where he sends 200 a day and we don't know if he's selectively posting random information. OPM has been at the forefront of the Trump admin's effort to downsize the federal workforce, helping compile lists of probationary employees and sending memos to various agencies about the firing. The move to fire OPM's privacy and communications teams appears similar to Musk's previous move to fire the entire media relations team over at X. And keep in mind, all of these people are using very similar rhetoric. Elon Musk.
I think the people that funded and supported Project 2025 and the tech oligarchy are playing Trump like a fucking puppet.
J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, even down to Charlie Kirk.
Trump just wanted to win. He would have done anything to win. And now they're saying, you should go after this. He's like, oh, that's a good idea.
Benny Johnson, they're all on the same page, talking about the media deserves to be put in prison. The media needs to be shut down if they're advocating for liberalism. I mean, it's that quote where it's like free speech for me, but not for thee. Whatever the hell the quote is. They want infinite free speech for themselves, but then they're trying to shut down 60 Minutes. They try to shut down AP News. It's all wild, and it comes back around to them firing people. So there's less transparency. They want less transparency as a whole. And keep in mind, complying with requests for records is a legal duty that carries penalties enforceable.
You literally have to do this. Records requests have to be done. It's illegal to not do it.
In court. So while firing the people who respond to requests is perhaps an effective delaying tactic, it does not ultimately relieve the government from its legal obligation to turn over public records, but Elon Musk is trying to delay Doge from having to turn over any records regarding government restructuring, workforce reductions, illegally firing people, illegally accessing data. If they can just downsize, if they can just fire the people that are in charge of FOIA or government transparency, then that lack of transparency makes it harder to scrutinize who they are firing or who they are granting security clearances, like CNN was trying.
Oh, here's a thing. As quickly as you possibly can, you should make your house as energy efficient as possible. Okay? LNG futures and energy as a whole is fixing to fucking skyrocket. I don't do like fucking like fear porn and shit. It's fixing to skyrocket, dude. It's already going through the roof. Right, and we have this cold snap coming, like this Arctic blast. So it's already fixing to go up. It is going up. It's already up, even more than they thought it would from the colds. And Biden administration, we typically, the reason that LNG is cheap is because we produce more than we use, right? It is a byproduct of the oil we produce. So we produce more than we use. But recently, with higher energy demands, we were exporting a ton of it and signing new export deals with like China and other countries. We were always getting closer to that number of do we have enough that isn't going to drive our market like crazy. The Biden administration saw these new LNG contracts going out and then thought, whoa. We should pause these new foreign contracts because if we keep going in the direction we're going, we're not going to have enough for ourselves. So what's that going to do? A triple, quadruple, maybe 100x the price, right? Because we don't have enough to share among our cold people. Okay? Trump, just because it had Biden's name on it, did away with it. So those contracts are coming back around. Other countries are using more than ever. We're using more than ever. It's fixing to get energy is fixing to get super fucking expensive. I know Trump claims he has a plan to reduce energy costs. He can't, right? It's supply and demand. And whoever pays for it, is going to get the bulk of it. And we're going to be the demand side fighting over what's left. Even the only reason I know about this, I'm not an LNG expert, is Mr. Global. And Mr. Global never does fear mongering. He never does like fucking fear porn, right? But he's worried about it. And if he's worried about it, I'm very fucking worried about it. Because he's a fucking expert that seems to fucking shoot it right. He'll call out fucking Biden as much as he will Trump. Like, this isn't a political thing. I think that it may not affect me as much because I'm like TVA, right? Especially on the energy side. But a lot of your power plants are LNG as well. That's a huge buyer of LNG, right? Gas turbines. So just be really careful. Try to be as energy efficient as possible. There may be an extreme spike in power bills.
Trying to figure out from Elon Musk. So the question still remains, why does Musk, who is not an elected official, have such deep access to classified government data? And number two...
And the White House keeps bouncing back and forth between, he's not part of Doge. He doesn't work for Doge. He's a special White House employee. Oh, he's in charge of Doge. No, he's not in charge of Doge. He has nothing to do with it. And even today in his speech said that he's the head of Doge. If you actually go and Google earlier today, I saw a video on it and Wynn did it, who is the head of Doge, it actually goes back to somebody under the Biden administration that resigned on Inauguration Day because Trump took a group, an agency, and renamed it and made it Doge, right? And then it went to Elon Musk for a while, and then that was deleted. So I don't know.
Why is he giving his minions access to the data? Number three, why are they so scared of addressing this question of whether or not they have proper security clearances? Because a key Senate Democrat is pushing for an independent watchdog investigation into the, quote, legality and scope of the agreement allowing Musk and his aides to access sensitive or classified government info, and that would be amazing. That would be the least that they can do, is have some sort of watchdog committee, independent watchdog investigation into what they're doing.
We always have this, right? If nothing else, we have this extra security layer of the inspectors general that are basically above it all. They're not political. They don't get involved in politics. They don't have to be elected, right? They're appointed, and they watch over everything and then report back to Congress. And Congress calls them in, testify. What do you found? Blah, blah, blah. But we fired almost all of them, right? Like, there should be nothing in the governments that doesn't have oversight from outside their own people. So, like, Doge shouldn't exist with only Trump as oversight, right? Congress should have it, or somebody else should have it.
The letter from Senator Chris Murphy, a Democrat from Connecticut, specifically asked the Government Accountability Office to investigate the Trump admin's move to designate Musk and his associates as special government employees. And right as this happened, right as Senator Chris Murphy asked for this watchdog committee, the White House sent out a memo saying Elon Musk isn't actually in charge of Doge. So they're very slippery, but I'll leave it at that. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe below. We are racing towards 1 million because of you guys. I love every single one of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
Very strange. Let me show you the... Hopefully it's over here. Mr. Global was going to do an interview with that guy I told you to look at last night, Westmoreland, Will Westmoreland. He did a live interview tonight. So if you have a chance, go watch that. It's like 2 hours long, but I like both those guys. They probably have a pretty good perspective on shit, but I want to show you this LNG video.
Okay. You have said oil is.
Okay. Here's what the comment he's responding to says. I totally believe what you're saying, but you have said oil is priced globally and gasoline priced locally. Wouldn't natural gas, be priced globally since large amounts is exported?
Okay, you have said oil is priced globally. Wouldn't natural gas be priced globally as well since large amounts are exported? No. And you don't want natural gas prices to be global.
We always hear about how expensive natural gas and shit is over in Europe.
You don't want that, because if natural gas prices were global, you would be paying significantly more. You see, when we export natural gas, we're exporting LNG, right? Which is not natural gas. It's liquefied natural gas. And it costs a great deal of money to do that. It costs a great deal of money to cool that gas to, 260 degrees below Fahrenheit and keep it in that state on a boat all the way across the ocean? Yeah, that's expensive. And it's literally an entire different product. Natural gas prices in Europe need to be around $8 for LNG to break even. You have to keep in mind that we are sending natural gas, liquefied natural gas, to countries and continents that literally have no means to produce their own, which changes the market dramatically. The number of suppliers of LNG around the world is also very limited. Not every oil-producing nation is an LNG exporter, so there's a limited number of suppliers and a vast number of buyers. If LNG was priced on a global market that was somewhat similar to the United States, there would be no LNG exports. There wouldn't be, unless natural gas got up over $8. We have some of the lowest natural gas prices in the world, and the fact that we have really low natural...
I know everybody complains about the energy prices, but we do have the lowest prices in the fucking in most of the world. I won't say all, because there might be a third world country where only one guy fucking gets it or something. I don't know. But we have super, super low prices.
Gas prices, even at $4.
Have you not heard about like Germans and how expensive their shit is, how they have to supplement it from fucking Russia and this pipeline and Europe, and they ship it in over here, and this boat brings some because it's so fucking expensive?
That's low. But the disparity between the prices and what the utility companies charge you for it is extremely high. We've had natural gas at $10, where we didn't see the utility bills we're seeing right now. So this isn't as much about the price of natural gas as...
It's at like $4.20 something. And again, we've had it up as high as $10, and it hasn't affected our energy infrastructure the way it is right now.
It is as much about the utility companies.
Something's changing.
Using the price of natural gas as an excuse to steal money out of your wallet. And that's literally what they're doing. So no, natural gas is not traded, not priced globally like West Texas Intermediate or Brent crude. It's traded at hubs. They're literally called hubs all over the world. And some countries have a lot of access to natural gas. They can produce their own natural gas. Some countries have none, right? Some countries have none. But the fact that you have to liquefy it at a very great cost to get it to these other countries, it has to be priced locally. It's the only way it works. So, I've had a lot of people tell me, why this worry about natural gas prices? It's not so much the prices themselves. We had natural gas was $10 a couple of years ago. It's what the utility companies are doing with that price. That's the problem. The price isn't really that bad. It's
let me find his other video where he does the Department of Energy warned of utility bills tripling. Could you imagine if you already have a $400 bill and it's all you can do to pay it, and it goes up to $1,200?
So, in response to my warning about skyrocketing electric bills, this person wants to know, is this because of gas exports? 1,000% it is because of natural gas exports. They're off the chart. They're off the chart. That's from 2015 to...
Look at 2005, 2010, 2015. We get to 2020 here, and there's no end in sight.
Now off the chart. That is 4.5 trillion cubic feet of natural gas exported out of the United States per year now. You ever heard people talk...
And Biden tried to slow those contracts. He did it. And Trump may have even thought, if Trump would have looked at it and been like, oh, he's trying to slow it down so our energy here will be shorter, Trump might have even thought that was a good idea. But Trump can't have anything with Biden's name on it. The only reason he got rid of this is because it's something Biden did. It's only going to hurt us. Right? I'm not saying you tell a company they can't export any. Right? They're making profit that way. They're probably reinvesting some of that profit. A lot of it's probably going to their CEOs and shit. But we have to put a cap in at some point. Is it when our power bills double? Is it when they triple, quadruple, 10x? But Trump just didn't like that Biden did it. But it was a good thing that Biden did.
Talk about the amount of gas present in Gaza Marine, because people think that, we're going into Gaza to get their gas. We export 4.5 times more natural gas than what exists in Gaza on a yearly basis. And when you look at the number of LNG export terminals that have been approved and proposed...
People were responding to his video saying, oh, we're going to get all that gas from Gaza. We export in a year 4 times the amount that they have.
either under construction or waiting to be constructed, that will add roughly 35 billion cubic feet per day to the export number. So it's going to increase exponentially. When you add all of the planned LNG export terminals together in a year, that's going to add about 11.5 trillion cubic feet per year exported out of the country. Roughly 3 times, not quite 3 times what we're exporting right now. And this is why I've been telling people for so long that there's going to be so much upward pressure on natural gas prices in the United States. We're going to have to increase natural gas production significantly just to keep up. We produce significantly more natural gas on a daily basis than we could ever use. So the question is, can we continue to increase production enough to meet the exports? Because currently, natural gas prices in the United States are $3.99.
By the way, this was from yesterday. He may have uploaded it like this is from yesterday. Today, already at 422. Now, those will come down again after we get out of winter, typically, unless we're exporting even more.
Now, that's not horrible, but it's definitely on the high end. We've seen this as high as $10.
And some of that price rise is because we're going through this current Arctic blast. You can tell when we go through a real bad cold snap that affects a large part of the country, like that when Texas froze over and shit, energy prices go up. Is part of the demand part of it. Not all of this is from that.
Just in 2022. If we continue to see rises in exports, and we will, we're either going to have to lower consumption.
Yes, because the reason it's going to go up is because Biden wanted to cap the exports. He wanted to say, look, you can make, this money hand over fist, but we're not going to ship all of it out. Trump did away with that. So if you're an oil executive and you can sell it here for $4.22 or whatever the market's at, or you could sell it to fucking China for $186 per unit. What are you going to do? Or you could sell it to fucking Russia for $250 per unit. Of course they're going to do it.
Of natural gas in the United States significantly, or we're going to have to increase production of natural gas in the United States significantly. One of the two things has to happen. Probably a little bit of both.
And what's crazy is we don't even go out of our way to produce it. There are some, so this is a byproduct of drilling oil. Typically, when you drill for oil, you find this as well. There are some oil rigs that just vent it. It's not even worth them trying to catch it, bottle it, liquefy, and ship it. Before all the exports, when we were back in 2010, 2015, 2020, we weren't exporting a shit ton of it because the rest of the world really wasn't ready for it. They didn't have the infrastructure for it. It wasn't as easy to liquefy it. They would vent it. Big fucking flame out the top of the oil rig, right? Just burn that shit off. I don't think that we can keep, the demand seems like it's going astronomically off the chart. I don't think that we're prepared to keep up with that demand, keep up with the ever increasing demand of the oil companies to make as much money as possible and supply us at home.
Now, the good news is we may see a little bit of relief in the spring. The longer period of time that we have mild temperatures, that'll be, good for bringing natural gas prices down and helping with people's utility bills. But the big problem here is that people are having to pay for utility companies to install renewable energy, right? They're having to pay for that while at the same
subsidize
time
it,
paying more for natural gas. And this is compounding their electrical bills to, crazy levels. But long-term, natural gas prices are going to continue to rise. Keep in mind, natural gas in Europe is $12 to $15 an MCF. And if we continue to increase exports without
just in Europe, it's 4 and 5 times what we pay here.
Either reducing consumption or drastically increasing supply in the United States, our prices could get close to that. Thanks.
I think this was one of a good one. His videos are sometimes split up into shorts as well. What is this? That's not a thing.
Today at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, here in about 20 minutes, will be our premiere episode of That's Not a Thing.
Oh, that's his new show. Okay. So it's not there. Let me go to this one where he's talking about saving energy, maybe. 10 easy ways to save electricity at home. Utility bills are tripling, dude. That's scary.
The Department of Energy warned us last year about skyrocketing utility bills. They said, they're coming. They're coming. Why? Why are they coming? Well, according to you, it's record cold in demand, and it certainly record cold plays a role in it. Demand, not so much. Demand, not so much. So why am I so concerned? The reason utility bills are skyrocketing in the United States is because of how much natural gas we export out of the country. That's why it's not a demand thing. We produce significantly more natural gas than we need. But what's coming ahead in the future is cause for concern. And that's because with what's approved and about to be built, we're going to add another more than 12 trillion cubic feet of natural gas exports per year out of the country. We're going to basically triple what we're doing right now, and we're already experiencing crazy.
By the way, so he showed you how we were going off the chart. He showed you the chart, and we were going off the chart, and that went up to 2024. Now, that was off the chart, and we're tripling that amount. That's already off the charts.
Bills. So in 2024, the United States will produce over 38 trillion cubic feet of natural gas and consumed a little over 32. So we produce significantly more natural gas than we need for our consumption. Why is it so high? Why is everyone paying so much? Why are utility bills so high? Because we export a ton of it. This was over 7 trillion cubic feet last year. 4.5 trillion cubic feet of that was LNG. Yeah. So, the Department of Energy came out and said, hey, we got a problem. We got a problem. Because the Department of Energy analysis exposes a triple cost increase to U.S. consumers from increasing LNG exports. A triple.
This is why the Biden administration stepped in. That there was going to be a triple cost increase on your power bill. The Department of Energy released this. They said, hey, we're not going to export all of this. I know you guys are making a shit ton of money, and you can continue to make that shit ton of money, but not at the cost of we can't afford to heat our homes.
Cost increase due to LNG exports. So I can only assume that a triple cost increase is the reason the Biden administration said, wait a minute, let's hold on a minute on these LNG exports.
There you go. Biden hits pause on approvals for LNG exports. A company, you can't really blame the companies either, right? It's shitty behavior. But the company's job, the CEO, CFO, the C-suite, is to make as much money as possible, as humanly possible, without getting in trouble most of the time, for their investors. So again, if I can sell it here for $4 a unit, and I can sell it to China for $400 a unit, where do you think it's going?
American utility bills are skyrocketing, right? That kind of makes sense, right? And the counter argument by the right is no. We want all the exports we can get. Who cares? He's going to cut energy prices in half by sending all of our gas overseas. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of people say that by, consumers in the United States having to pay more for renewable energy projects from utility companies, that they are in essence subsidizing them. Yeah, they love to say that. They don't say that, though, about fossil fuels, do they?
Never, 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 never. So people bitch and complain about subsidizing wind and solar and wave generators or what. They'll never bitch about the subsidies that go to oil and gas.
If we're exporting as much as we are, and we plan on exporting as much as we plan on, right? And everyone's utility bills skyrocket, would that not mean the same thing? Would that not mean that the American consumer is, in a sense, subsidizing the LNG exports through their utility bills? Yes. Yes. Yes, it does. So what the American consumer is facing right now is they're having to pay, right? They're having to pay for their utility company to build out their renewable energy infrastructure. At the same time, they're having to pay for elevated natural gas costs because we're exporting all of our surplus out of the country, and we're actually losing inventory because we're exporting so much. You can't just say, oh, it's just...
LNG can be used for all, like I said, it can run power plants, it can fucking heat your home, it can do everything, right? It should be strategically stockpiled to lower fucking, it shouldn't be export as much as you possibly fucking can. I understand they're going to export some. I'm not saying we can't export it or, you can't allow those companies to make money. But the government approves. The government approves these exports. And Biden said, hey, my Department of Energy is telling me that if we continue the way we're going, utility bills here will triple. So make your money up to this level, but we don't need to keep doing this and triple our utility bills.
just cold weather. Like cold weather doesn't happen. Like
Trump says Biden did it. No, we're not doing it.
It's not a thing. Does everyone suddenly have to have $1,000 utility bill because it got cold? No. And that's ridiculous. So the real question is, who do we prioritize? Do we prioritize Americans?
And you can't keep saying America first when we're selling our own resources that are literally 5 years ago where we were fucking venting them to space in a big fireball.
Or do we prioritize companies that are exporting our natural resources overseas?
And it's only going to get worse because all these other countries are being heavily industrialized, right? Third world countries are coming online. They're looking for the same energy resources we have.
At the end of the day, that's the question you got to ask yourself. Thanks.
I don't know. Be ready. The Department of Energy is warning about it. Mr. Global's warning about it. Trump says, fuck it, we do what we want. And here we are. So I think this is probably the last one on LNG.
Natural gas prices in the United States are up 27 cents today. That's pretty significant. Almost 8%. Almost 8%.
They went up 8% in a day, and they've went up another 8% today, or maybe a little bit more, because this is $3.99. They went up to $4.22. It'd be a little bit less, maybe 6-7% today.
Look at that. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. So that was me yesterday telling you that natural gas prices are about to pop off. And this is going to have a huge impact on your utility bills, your electricity, and if you get gas at home. This is today, right? Yesterday, today.
Even like me, I'm TVA, you got to understand something about the grid, okay? The grid, you can't just put out all the power all the time. There has to be demand for that power, okay? Or it can fuck up the equipment and blah, 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 and our grid's kind of fragile. So even if you live somewhere where you're like, oh, well, we get our power through fucking steam, or we get to this, we do that, we burn coal, whatever. It doesn't matter. Because the grid always has to be equalized. And when I used to work on power plants, almost all of the surge plants that I worked on, which means they only come out during high demand, right? They basically sat waiting for a phone call from NERC, the National Energy Regulatory Committee, waiting for a phone call, and the phone call comes, and they say, hey, fire up your plant because we got to shift this power here and that power there and this power here, and people are demanding it for air conditioner heat. Almost all of the surge plants I've ever worked at have been fucking LNG plants. GE 7FA gas turbines. So even if you get your power some other way, I'll be slightly insulated from it because TVA and we do a lot of hydroelectric shit, but I won't be insulated from it, right? Mine will go up just as much as yours. It'll be slower to react. It might not go up as high as quickly, but mine will go up too. So this affects everybody. Everybody in America is about to have their energy bills go up substantially if this continues the way it's predicted to.
Are you listening?
And nobody's doing anything. Nobody's doing anything. There was a plan to do something. Even if it was a bad plan, the new plan shouldn't be, let's do nothing again.
Listening now for all the negative Nellies that come in my comment section like, he doesn't know what he's talking about? Yeah.
Oh, there it is from today. So it ended up going to 24. That's 5.3. So it probably went up about 6-7%.
That's a lot of money out of your wallet every month. Natural gas hasn't been that high since the end of 22. Yeah. So since we're sort of in the middle of this thing, what can you do right now to conserve electricity or gas in your home to save you a lot of money on your bills? Because your bills are going through the roof right now. You just don't know it because you haven't gotten them yet, but they're coming. Okay, so any electronics you have that are plugged in that you don't use, unplug them. Unplug them.
And I don't know if you've ever been on small town Facebook. It's a fucking trip, dude. Every day I wake up to about 15 posts asking if the dump's open for some reason. About 35 posts of different people around my county saying, did you guys hear that loud boom? It wasn't a gun. It wasn't the railroad. It was a loud boom. I don't know what it is. I wake up to all these posts, all these weird fucking posts. But once a month, I wake up to the exact same fucking post. The exact same post once a fucking month, every month, like goddamn clockwork all winter. I can't believe how high my electric bill is. I don't even think it was that cold last month, was it? Every fucking month, like clockwork. When the bills come out, the people go to Facebook to bitch about it. They're in for a real fucking treat when it's not just the cold that's doing it, but it's the fact that we're selling it all off as fast as we fucking can and can't even keep enough to heat our own homes.
Those things use electricity even when they're turned off. They're a drain on your power supply.
So this is vampire electricity. If you're really serious about saving electricity because you're already close to not being able to pay your bill and you're worried about this spot coming, anything that's plugged into the wall, it's not using power like a lamp, right? Your lamp is not using power to light the light bulb, but that power all day, every day, consistently, the power flows through that cord all the way to the switch. So any device that has a switch on it that you don't use regularly, you can unplug from the wall. That's vampire electricity. It's not a huge amount, but everything's going to help, okay? So it's plugged into the wall and has a switch. The only exception would be like string lights, right? String lights a lot of times don't have a switch. They're either on or off, so you unplug them anyways. But everything else that has a switch that you don't use consistently, you can unplug it out of the wall. That'll save a little bit. There's also people that put that shit like on timers or whatever.
Unplug those things. Any rugs, blankets, quilts, things that you can put down over hard floors, surfaces, put it down.
It'll help insulate it and it'll make it feel warmer.
Put it down. Yeah, these are things you can do right now. You can weather strip your door, but you're probably not going to weather strip your doors in the middle of...
Don't matter what party, when it gets cold, you use more to heat your home. We've just been talking for the last fucking 40 goddamn minutes about how it's not just from the colds.
A blizzard or whatever you call this thing, right? But, you can take some towels and stuff them under the doors, where the cold air comes in below the door. You can do that. That'll help a lot. Turn down your water heater.
Turn down your water heater if you can.
Most people have their water heaters turned on way...
If you can stand it. Like, a lot of people like really hot water, especially women. They like to fucking bathe in lava. Turn down your water heater because it constantly cycles to keep the water at that temperature, right? Especially if it's an older water heater, not as well insulated or not as efficient.
Way too high, especially if you have a newer water heater that's more than or less than 5 years old. They're very efficient. You don't need to crank those things up. You're wasting a lot of energy doing that. Obviously, anything you can put over your windows, any kind of plastic or anything. If you don't have anything like that, you can use towels at the bottom of your window panes, just like you do on the bottom of a door. That'll help. Check your windows and doors and see which ones, have the most cold air coming in. A lot of people use fireplaces during this time, and they turn them off at night. When you turn that thing off, close the damper.
Close the flue, yeah.
You forgot to do that, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I know, because I do every time. Check your filters for your HVAC unit in your house, and also don't block your vent.
Filters are a big thing. They reduce the efficiency so fucking much. It's so you have this big ass filter, but when it's clogged, it's like your entire heating system is trying to suck through a straw. Another thing I see all the time is people will put dressers, beds, cabinets, nightstands, something over a vent. Your system isn't designed to work that way. If you have floor vents, make sure they're uncovered as much as possible.
A lot of people have vents on the floors and they set stuff on top of them. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't block your vents. Let them flow. Let them flow. Don't put one thing in the washing machine. Yeah, don't do that. Wash a load of laundry when you have a load of laundry. Yeah. And most importantly, turn your thermostat down and bundle up a little bit. Turn your thermostat down and bundle up a little bit.
Break out the hoodies. Be a little bit uncomfortable in a t-shirt or fucking topless or however the fuck you sleep.
I'm telling you, this is only going to get worse.
I'm serious. If you can't afford for your power bill to triple, these are probably things you need to look into. Even though it sounds uncomfortable, even though it's not what you want to do, the Department of Energy is warning power bills may triple because of LNG exports. Biden stepped in, said, hey, we're going to limit the LNG exports. We're going to put a pause on them. Trump came in and said, fuck you, we're not doing that. So if the Department of Energy is correct, there is nothing stopping this from coming now. And it seems like, from the past of natural gas, that this is happening. Our power bills are higher now because they can see the writing on the wall, right? Power bills are higher now with LNG at $4.22 a unit than they were a few years back when LNG was $10 a unit. So imagine a barrel of oil costs $55, okay? And that makes your gas $2 a gallon. Then imagine the next day, a barrel of crude oil goes down to $20 a barrel, but gas goes up to $4 a gallon because that's what we're facing. It doesn't matter because they're exporting so much of it.
I wouldn't be telling you this if I didn't think this was a problem. Do you understand? I'm not an alarmist. I've never been an alarmist. If you can take 2-3 minutes in your house to do even one or two of these things I just said, I'm telling you, it's going to save you money. It's going to save you money. Go do it. Go do it now. Thanks.
So there you go. Try to make your home as energy efficient as possible. I don't want to be reading chat and people are like, I got $1,000. I got a $2,000 power bill. I can't afford. I don't know what I'm going to do. We can't eat. We can't. Do what you can. And even let's say it all is a bust and Trump comes in and saves it somehow and makes America great. It's only going to make your bill cheaper. It's not going to harm you in some way. It's not going to negatively affect your family in some way. It's only going to make your bill cheaper. And in case you are worried about the conflict of interest between like Elon Musk, like with the FAA and places like that, where he has, and DOD, where he has active contracts, Trump said, if there's ever a situation where there could be a conflict of interest, I will personally know about it and I will step in. We saw him say it in the Oval Office, right? He won't be messing with anything where there could potentially be a conflict of interest. I'll handle that myself if I have to. I'll step in. He's the oversight on Elon Musk, and we're just supposed to trust me, bro. He's the oversight. So let's see how he responds to that.
Well.
Oh, this might be the wrong one.
I don't.
It is. Hold on. It's this one.
Just wanted to say hi to Elon Musk and all our pals in the Trump White House who posted this video that makes me seem like a big Doge fan. First, thanks for being friends of the pod. Second, I have some questions about all the waste and fraud you're supposedly finding. You just fired hundreds of employees at the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, at a time when we've had multiple plane crashes over the course of a few weeks. Not ideal for us nervous flyers. Elon, you tried to tell me that, quote, no one affecting safety has been fired, but you fired engineers, technicians, maintenance mechanics, even a military veteran who's worked for years on an understaffed team that literally helps planes avoid new hazards. One FAA official told Rolling Stone that their response to the news was, holy hell. And another asked, how do they think airports and airplanes work? Speaking of veterans, you guys also fired 1,000 employees at the VA, including a disabled father of 4 who served 20 years in the Army and did 4 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, who found out when he logged onto his work computer at the hospital where he helps care for other veterans. Question for you. Do you think there are too many jobs for disabled veterans right now? Is that the problem? Do you think there are too many people caring for veterans at VA hospitals in America? I know you'd like us to think that these mass firings are part of some genius plan to make government work better, but you also fired hundreds of people whose job it was to oversee our stockpile of nuclear weapons. And then when you realized how badly you screwed up and tried to unfire them, you couldn't find their contact information. You also tried to fire a bunch of people who were working on bird flu, and now we're trying to rehire them too. What's infuriating is that you could have led a real effort to make government work better and save people money. Instead, you're firing thousands of public servants who keep our nukes safe, keep our skies safe, care for our veterans, and you've only saved a few $1 billion. And sure, Elon, for most people, that's real money, but it's still just a fraction of the $22 billion in government contracts that have been handed out to your companies. Any reason Doge hasn't looked at those?
Mr. President, given your concerns about corruption...
Listen very closely.
$1 billion in government contracts that have been handed out to your companies. Any reason Doge hasn't looked at those?
Mr. President.
All right, so again, from the Oval Office.
Are you personally checking to make sure there's no conflicts of interest?
Yeah, I am.
Are you personally checking to make sure there's no conflicts of interest, Elon Musk going into these places, like the FAA, like NASA, like the Department of Defense, where he holds contracts? Are you personally? Yeah, I am. Yes.
Personally, Trump is personally checking. Does anybody here believe that?
He answers to you.
Sure, he does. First of all, he wouldn't do it. And second of all, we're not going to let him do anything where there's a conflict of interest.
We're not going to let him do anything where there's a conflict of interest. He wouldn't do it. We're not going to let him. And I am personally responsible if he goes anywhere where there's a conflict of interest. So now listen to this reporter's question.
Out to your companies. Any reason Doge hasn't looked at those?
Mr. President, given your concerns about corruption, you said that if there were any conflicts of interest with Elon Musk, you wouldn't let him anywhere near it.
Wouldn't let him near it. He's not going to do it. Trump says that's right.
That's right.
Doge and SpaceX employees are now working directly at the Federal Aviation Administration and the Defense Department, agencies that have
and NASA
billions of dollars in contracts with Musk's companies or that directly regulate his companies. How is that not a conflict of interest?
Well, I mean, I'm just hearing about it.
You're telling me everybody else knew about it because Elon and his friends were bragging about it on Twitter. And the most powerful man in the world was like, I'm just now here. How am I supposed to do something about something I don't even know about? Why didn't you tell me earlier? I could have stopped him.
Interest with Elon Musk, you wouldn't let him anywhere near it.
That's right.
Doge and SpaceX employees are now working directly at the Federal Aviation Administration and the Defense Department, agencies that have billions of dollars in contracts with Musk's companies or that directly regulate his companies. How is that not a conflict of interest?
Well, I mean, I'm just hearing about it.
Gotcha. Well, let me know if you come up with any answers for all these people you fired without a reason. My DMs are open.
He's just hearing about that. Why'd you fire all the people in charge of the Strategic Reserve? Well, Elon didn't know what they did, and I'm just now hearing about it. What about all the people in charge of researching the bird flu that is an epidemic right now? Well, Elon didn't know what they did, and I'm just now hearing about it. What about all the people that are working on the measles outbreak that's going on in Texas, mostly because of people like RFK, who convinced people not to vaccinate their kids while his own very fucking kids are vaccinated against everything, including COVID. Well, Elon didn't know what it was, and I'm just now hearing about it. You're just going to play behind the eight ball the whole goddamn presidency? I didn't know anything about that. I'll look into it. It's already done, motherfucker. It's over. It's done. I'm glad you heard about it. By the way, one last thing I want to show you before I wrap up. This guy, Chris Valentini, is probably my favorite example of you can't see the forest for the trees. So the right-wing Trump supporters loved this guy's content. Why do they love his content? Because he went over cool stuff that everybody likes to listen to about like how the fascists took over during World War II and how the U.S. put them down and these badasses in the U.S. military and how fucking cool they were. This guy's got a fucking master's degree in goddamn history. And he goes over all these stories about, like, you don't understand, this guy was a badass, and he took it straight to the fucking fascists and Hitler and Mussolini and D-Day and Normandy and blah, 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 right? They loved hearing about that shit, about how the Patriots stood up against the rise of fascism and struck it down. But again, they can't see the forest for the trees. So when he comes out and says, but wait, you're following the fascist now, they lose their fucking mind. Unsubscribe. Cancel him. I never liked him. I hated him. Go back to the history videos, history guy. They are so fucking mad, dude. And I love it.
So Trump just declared himself king. All hail the king. If you don't believe me, you can go to the official White House Instagram. If you're one of those losers on Truth Social, you can go to his Truth Social page. This is going to be all over the news. You can go to my YouTube channel to watch the most recent video about it, where I do a deep dive into both the executive orders that he signed and his latest joke about being the king. But yeah, go check it out. And yeah, have a good one.
So here's his new hate comments. Long live the greatest president ever lived, King Trump. Get his meat out of your mouth, bro. Damn. Bro takes a joke harder than Stormy Daniels takes the dick. God save King Trump. You take jokes harder than Diddy takes cock. King Trump. Good for him. We love Trump and what he's doing for us. Dog, the crash out has to end eventually, right? Are you okay, bro? Long live the king. Maggots are too stupid to see their country burning at the roots as they salt the earth it grew from. Yeah, man, that's great. Looks to the doctor for reassurance. The doctor shakes his head in the doorway. The fall off is crazy for this guy. Only deep dive this dude did was into Krispy Kreme dumpster, LMAO. You look exactly how you sound. King Trump, in all caps. I really hope bro is getting paid enough to do this. He's ruining his channel. Can you do history videos again? You best start believing in history videos. You're in one. I'm down with that. Long live the king. Like, they fucking hate him now, dude. They hate him so much. And he's come out even harder against them.
Go live on YouTube. We're going to watch Trump's recent speech where he said that only the President of the United States and the Attorney General can say what the law is. So go on, head over to YouTube. I'll see you there. About to go live. By the way, to everybody making videos about me, you're welcome for your most viewed video of the past 3 months. By the way, to everybody making videos.
They're trying to coordinate mass unfollowings on certain dates.
So we've got some breaking news. It looks like Marco Rubio, at the behest of Donald Trump, has met up with a whole bunch of different Russian advisors to negotiate a peace deal for the war in Ukraine. Interestingly enough, though, there wasn't a single Ukrainian advisor there. Not one Ukrainian official. Volodymyr Zelensky is incredibly fucking pissed off about this. He recently said whatever fucking deal those two come up with, meaning Russia and the United States.
They can't see that his channel has remained consistent, right? He covered the rise to power from World War II, the takeover, how so many people were convinced, how everybody loved it, everybody was cheering it on, or you got shipped off or ostracized. They can't see that this is the most consistent channel on TikTok.
So I know that Elon has been draining all the government money, and I'm just wondering if there's somewhere that I should be putting my address so that I can get a check sent to my house. Because you are going to give me back the money, right, Elon? That's what we're doing. You're draining the money so I can get it back, right? So
Valentini Vids, VALENTI Vids, I think, is his YouTube channel.
This is unironically the level of stupidity that we're up against. This guy thinks U.S.
He didn't have this energy prior to the election. He's pissed because USAID probably cut his funding.
USAID was funding me, a TikToker. I don't even think this guy's trolling. This is unironic.
You're the parasite class. Veterans benefits, save our farm. We need health care. But he gets $8 million per day in government subsidies. There's one really good one in here. This one. I've seen what makes you cheer. Your booing means nothing. I like that. Someone in comments says, anyone complaining about you not posting history videos anymore obviously didn't learn anything from them anyways. They see themselves as the people saving the world right now. The same way a lot of people did in the 30s and 40s, right? Everybody's the good guy in their own country. So they reported him to the FBI for this. It says you can vote your way into fascism, but you gotta shoot your way out. Which is true. And he shares a post, he who saves his country does not violate any laws. They reported him to the FBI for this. There was like this big movement of like right-wing TikTokers like, oh, this is a threat. We're going to report him. And they were all calling and reporting him to the FBI. He didn't even fucking take the video down.
So now that RFK Jr. is the head of HHS, he has proposed a new idea, which is to send anybody who takes mood stabilizers, something like an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety pill, to a work camp. Now, a work camp is just another way to say a concentration camp. So MAGA, I'm just curious, why do you support sending yourselves and your fellow Americans to concentration camps for the crime of being prescribed a mood stabilizer? Now, I know it's going to be hard for you to defend this one, but you will defend anything Donald Trump and his crowd does because you're in a cult. So, prepare, dig your heels in, and start saying that nobody should be taking mood stabilizers and that these wellness camps will actually turn them back into functioning members of society. At the same time, start practicing straightening your arm as much as you can and start practicing your German. You're going to need to say Sig Heil a lot. So now that RFK Jr. is the head of HHS, he has proposed a new idea, which is to send anybody who takes mood stabilizers, something like an antidepressant or an anti-anxiety pill, to a...
That should be good.
Hey, MAGA rats, the Republicans just dropped their new bill in terms of what they want to do for the economy, and they're cutting Social Security, Medicaid, SNAP, which is like food stamps, Meals on Wheels. They're not putting in the no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. They were never going to put that in. You stupid fucks fell for that. They said that in order to get you to vote for them because the Conservative Party knows that in order to get votes, they need to appease to the stupidest people in the United States. That's not my opinion. There is data to prove this. If you vote right wing, you are most likely less educated than me.
And there's still people arguing. There's a guy here, Charles Lee, in the comments says, nothing is happening to Social Security. And someone says, it's in their reconciliation bill. They're going to cut to that department. They have the votes. It's in both of them, both of the proposals. He says, I'm 61 years old, and my wife receives Social Security and pension. I receive pension and Social Security. It ain't going nowhere. What does that have to do with the fact that it's in their proposals?
That's because the more educated you are, the more likely you are to vote for a Democratic candidate. That's not my opinion. That is statistics. If you voted MAGA, you're probably dumb. Cry about it, bitch about it, moan about it. I couldn't give less of a fuck. But MAGA, why do you want to cut benefits for the VA? Why do you want to get rid of Medicaid, which is healthcare for 72 million Americans? Why do you want to get rid of SNAP benefits, which is how 42 million Americans get their food? Why do you want to do all of these things that will destroy the country? And then at the same time, you advocate for the billionaire class. Why is it that you are advocating for your own demise? Does it have something to do with the fact that you're unironically dumber than a medieval peasant? Does it have something to do with that? Hey, MAGA.
Ooh.
And frankly, I won't be calling you Jessica. You were John before, and you're John now. And you'll always be John. Does that map say Gulf of Mexico? Somebody change that map! And frankly...
He does a pretty good job.
Democracy has always been hanging by a fucking thread. But now we have Elon Musk doing exactly what Yarvin is asking him to do, or has trained him to do, or taught him to do, which is dismantle the government as fast as you can. As soon as you get that opportunity, you fucking drain it. That way you can make the government small enough to drown it in a fucking bathtub! tub, and once it's dead, you take control over the remaining shell, the husk of the United States. Not the USA, but the USE, the United States of Elon. I know I sound crazy. I'm aware. But the problem is, I got the receipts.
Please don't argue unless you've read the reconciliation. House Republican budget plans would cut Social Security benefits.
I got the receipts. There's a human baby in the hallway and Luigi is growling. She fucking hates human babies. Don't even get me started on human babies. Oh, Jesus. I also got some videos of your... Democracy has always been hanging by a fucking thread. But now we have Elon Musk doing exactly what Yarvin is asking him to do, or has trained him to do.
Curtis Yarvin.
I just posted a comprehensive video about Curtis Yarvin. You know where I posted it. I'm not saying where, but you know where I posted it. And I think it's called The Dark Enlightenment, and I put The Death of Democracy in the thumbnail. So thumbnail's pretty gas. Go check out the fucking thumbnail. It's pretty...
The reason they're going to cut it is because, or the way they're going to cut it and cut the money out of the budget is raising the age, more than likely. That's the only way they can do it. I mean, they don't have to do it that way, but they've demanded in both reconciliation proposals that they have to remove money from the budget, and it's not going down. More people are retiring every day. People are living longer. So the only foreseeable way, there's two ways. Right? It's either to cut the benefits, actual check by check, you're making less now, or raise the age, right? So some of them have proposed raising the age from 59 to 69 by 2033.
Fucking gays, if you ask me. Gays. Made it myself! Yeah! I just posted Mencius mold bug.
Oh, save me, Donald Trump!
Oh no.
Save me, Elon Musk! Save me, Mr. Billionaire! Please fix my nation! Come and dismantle my government! Please! I want you to usurp the powers that be! Overthrow the Senate and the House of Representatives and Congress! Just come!
You're fucking oblivious if you think they're finding fraud and waste, and that's the problem.
on in and destroy my nation illegally!
They're lying about fraud and waste while they cut fucking workers, cut funding, cut SNAP, cut Medicare or Medicaid, cut Social Security, cut money off from the farmers. You haven't even read the fucking bill and you're in here arguing. I don't think that's what's happening. He's just sending illegals home, stopping payments to illegal immigrants. The illegal immigrants that don't fucking get payments. They're illegal.
Please, Mr. Trump, I'll do it.
He's pretty good at that.
Quick reminder to every single member of the United States military, you took an oath to defend the Constitution. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and J.D. Vance are actively dismantling the Constitution. It is your obligation.
You're oblivious because you're in a fucking echo chamber. That's it. Just stop fucking talking. Just on my show, we've shown 4 different farmers that the government cut their funding and owe each one of them hundreds of thousands of fucking dollars, and they're worried they're going to lose their farm because Trump came in, and because it was a Biden-backed bill that repaid these farmers for improvements they made to their farm, said, oh no, it's got Biden's name on it, I'm getting rid of it. So I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Go back to your echo chamber and believe everything's great. It's only brown people. It'll never be you. Farmers are happier than ever. But there's literally a guy that just went viral from his farm He's going to lose his farm because of Trump, and he voted for Trump. I can't remember the guy's name. This guy.
I might lose my farm because of the government. I got in bed with the government. I was promoting getting in bed with the government because I thought it was a good idea. So, NRCS, conservation planning. So they had a program out there called the EQIP program. And what the EQIP program is it's...
The EQIP program has been through administration, through administration, through administration, through administration, through administration, through administration, through administration. Biden did his version of it. It gave farmers, it would pay farmers back for improving their land. Better fencing, better conservation, building structures, whatever. You pay for it up front. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in a lot of cases. And the government will reimburse you for that. That's not fraud. That's not waste. It makes our farms stronger. It makes our supply chain stronger. It keeps farmers here so we're not buying meat from overseas. It keeps jobs here. And Trump came in, and just because it had Joe Biden's name on it, he ended it. They're helping the farmers. What are you even talking about? This?
Cost sharing.
What the rest of the world is seeing while we're not sharing AI pictures of Donald Trump rescuing drowning orphans?
On stuff like fencing, different seedings, water lines, waters, wells, and stuff like that to better conserve farmland for agricultural use. So I thought it was a great program. We got a contract with them for $240,000. So we signed a contract with them for $240,000 and
barely getting by because farmers don't make a ton of money, and paying $240,000, and the government promised to reimburse you. The president's change, and the president now declares you fraud and waste.
And we have bought different types of material. We've gotten paid out on some of it, but I now have $80,000 worth of material and signed contracts for labor that are going to install the water lines in the upcoming few weeks and months. And with that being said, they called me today and said, hey, I know...
Or you could be like everybody else and say, fuck the farmers, right? It's not patriotic to be farmer. They're leeches on the system.
This signed contract, we're reneging on it. We're not going to pay out on it.
But you can't be their leeches on the system, and he's helping the farmers. What are you talking about? You realize he devastated soybean crops? He fucking devastated soybean crops the first time he was in. So much so that he had to do a government bailout for the farmers just so they all didn't go under. He hasn't helped the farmers. He's not helping the farmers. He ended the programs that help farmers.
What do you mean you're not going to pay out on it? So I've got all this stuff bought, and whenever I install it, you're not going to pay out? We had this contract. I made business decisions.
I just want more pictures of him taking white children away from brown Jesus to bring them back to Christianity.
Based on this contract. So now I have $80,000 out of my pocket that I didn't have to spend. So the $80,000 that we have is...
If you don't watch the news, who the fuck told you he was helping farmers? You saw him in a straw hat once? I don't understand where you heard that to put it in my chat. While I'm describing something that we've researched, went over, found firsthand accounts, found news articles, found sources and data to back up, and you're like, what are you talking about, crazy? He helps the farmers.
It's supposed to go to our farm loan in the fall. If we don't have that money, that's our hay money, that's our farm money, our farm payment money. If we don't have that money, we will lose this farm. And the only way that I can think...
He's going to lose his cattle ranch, these cows behind him, because Trump ended the program.
To get around it is we sell some cows. And if I sell cows now to make the payment to make...
So you saw Trump just say, I will help farmers. And there's no need to ever look past him just saying it. Trump also said that he's a king today. Do you just take that as he's king now? He congratulated himself on something he didn't fucking do and then said, "Long live the king." These motherfuckers, these Trump supporters, would go to the ends of the earth when Biden said something to find an article that made it look like he was wrong. But Trump says, "I help farmers." And they're like, he helps farmers. What are you talking about, crazy? Farmers losing their farms that you've talked to, spoke with, done the research on, looked at the data, found the bill, found the executive order, and researched all of this. He said he helps farmers.
That payment, I'm not going to be able to make the payment.
Then fucking leave, because somebody needs to abuse the fuck out of you until you fucking get it. Somebody needs to abuse you on a daily fucking basis until you look past, well, Trump says he helps farmers. While there's actually people out here losing their fucking farms because of something Trump did. You need somebody extremely close to you to abuse you until they're tired of lifting their fucking arms, or you look something up. One of the two.
The fall, because the cows are calculated in my payment in the fall. So because I got in bed with the government, I spent money based on the contract that we signed. They're reneging on it. I'm just screwed. And unless they lift this pause on payment, I'm going to lose this farm. So they have told me that the best thing that they can tell me is get in touch with the congressmen and congresswomen and see.
Both his congress people didn't do anything for him. He called them both, and they said, "Oh, this must be an accident. We're for farmers." Trump tweeted about it. "We're for farmers. This must be an accident," and then never responded to him again.
If I can get something done about this. So I've reached out to Ann Wagner's office. That's the congresswoman of Missouri. I'm hoping that
He didn't. I'm not just making that up. He did an update video. They never reached out to him again. He got an automated email that said, "The Republican Party and Trump stand behind our farmers," and that was it. They never spoke to him again.
Comes out of that, but I don't have very high hopes of it. Hopefully this is a temporary ban on payment of that, but I don't understand how you can sign a contract and then just renege on that contract. I do not understand that at all. And if something doesn't change, we are going to
respect the base of my cock with your fucking lips. Shut the fuck up. Respect.
to lose this farm, and I am extremely stressed about it. But also, with that being said, I've been promoted NRCS. Do not look into government programs, because
you don't get to come in here and be a retard. You don't get to come in here and be fucking retarded. When I'm literally covering a story about a guy losing his farm because of Trump, you don't get to come in here and say, "Trump's helping the farmers." When I say, "Where did you get that from?" You're like, "Well, he put it on his social media platform that he loves farmers. I saw him on a tractor once."
Everybody told me, I've been waiting for payment for a long time. You're going to get screwed. And I was like, no, it's a contract. They can't do that. And sure as shit, here we are.
And this guy fucking voted for Trump. He even says, "I'm all for fraud. I'm all for getting rid of the fraud and abuse and getting all these illegals out of here. But they weren't supposed to mess with us farmers." He probably read the same fucking post that Sherry read. He told me he loves farmers. Oh. All right, guys. I'm out. Thank you all for joining us. Remember to keep your respect up high and your enemies down low. Or something like that. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. You want to support the show, do it at Coldberry.fund. I will have little to no respect for anybody that comes in here acting fucking stupid as fuck. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we'll hop off here, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. It's probably too far. Have a good night, guys.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the fork and balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6 cents for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like Thor in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next?
Hey,
dress, fucking
it's about respect.
tall in a vest, climbing up 5G towers, cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle.
It was included in the Inflation Reduction Act.
Here we go, I think I started some shit.
It doesn't matter. Like, it would have been one thing if they'd have went through line by line and said, okay, well, we can probably cut some off this, and this is probably a fraudulent charge, or we're overpaying for that, or we need to renegotiate this. They didn't. They come in with a fucking axe and said, fuck everything.
I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil.
You're fucking retarded. That's not the way the government works. Congress has the power of the purse. Money was already allocated. This is the first time ever since the impoundment law was passed that someone's come in and said, nope, I can just stop it.
Seriously.
That's why it's illegal under the Impoundment Act.
Damn it. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking. He was doing so well. It's all over. Hands on his shoulders. They ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on cocks that came first. 9th inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Ass on slow and bullshit and runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience. It's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby-eating heathens. Believing in reasons with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
You don't have those.
Good night, guys.
You're a pussy. You're a pussy wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement, and I won't even give out your